Hi, everybody. Rachel Teedy here with your evening update of 13 Now. A lot happening right now. Election primary night is what we've been talking about most of the day. We've been bringing you live team coverage all day long, and that is no different in our update here tonight. So let me bring in both Dan Levy and Sabrina Dami, both doing live coverage. We have had live coverage from all New York City. Let's start with Sabrina Dami, who was live. She's been following Governor Hochul and the Delgado race tonight. So, Sabrina, what can you tell us about the atmosphere that you're seeing right now?
Hi, Rachel. So we are inside Tribeca Rooftop right now. This is the venue where Governor Hochul and Lieutenant Governor Delgado will be once the polls close, once the results start coming in. They're hoping this will be a party, and I'm just going to try and move around a little bit so you can see the scene behind me. You can see balloons. They have a lot of food they're setting up. A lot of media here right now. This is the media check-in time for us, so that's what my photographers are doing right now, getting everything set up. We are expecting around 9 o'clock, if everything goes the way the polls have indicated, that Governor Hochul will come out and announce victory. She's had a commanding lead in the polls, including our own exclusive News Channel 13 Survey USA poll. And she, 1 week ago, pretty much put out the message saying it was imminent victory for primary night. So here we are now, an hour and a half away from polls closing. The race for lieutenant governor has been a little bit more up in the air. There's no firm polling, but there's been a lot of talk about momentum around the challenger for Lieutenant Governor Delgado, Ana Maria Archila. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out for tonight. But we have, as we've said all evening, Rachel, all day really, extensive coverage of what happens once the polls close, beginning at 9 p.m. For 2.5 hours. Our crews will be updating our viewers on that.
Absolutely. And Sabrina, were you able to talk to either of them ahead of the party tonight?
We spoke with Lieutenant Governor Delgado just a few days ago. I had a one-on-one chat with him about how he was feeling. You know, he was really thrown into this just last month. He was appointed May 3rd by Governor Hochul after the former Lieutenant Governor Brian Benjamin resigned when he was arrested on federal bribery charges. So he was appointed May 3rd, then sworn in May 25th, and here we are, June 28th. So really just a month to get this campaign message out and across the state. We know him in the Capital Region. He was our local congressman in the 19th Congressional District, representing parts of our southern part of our viewing area. But the other parts of the state may not know him as well. So that's been his goal, is really to have a getting to know you tour, a really speedy getting to know you tour leading up to today.
Absolutely. Well, Sabrina Dami, thank you so much for that live report. Let's go over to Dan Levy now, who's been following the Republican races. So, Dan, what can you tell us about what you've heard so far tonight?
Well, good evening, Rachel. I have to tell you, there seems to be a growing sense of optimism in this hotel ballroom. Now, most of the candidates have not shown up here just yet, but there are campaign aides here, and they have really been portraying optimism and positivity here. And you know what? There's probably a good reason why the state's Republican chairman, Nick Langworthy, chose this venue when there are three other candidates vying to be the chosen candidate in their party for governor. There's probably a good reason why Michael Henry is here tonight, and I'm going to talk to him in just a moment. He is the Republican candidate running against Tish James for Attorney General. Now, Republicans have not won statewide office in 20 years. George Pataki was the last one. But with voter frustration over inflation and rising crime rate, there are Republicans who believe this is their best chance in a generation to make some inroads. And we expect Lee Zeldin will declare victory here later tonight. The polls leading up to primary Tuesday indicate that that is exactly what he will do. When he's here, we'll chat with him, we'll chat with the other candidates, and we'll get some reaction. We'll talk to them about their strategy about knocking off some entrenched Democrats in a blue state. A lot of questions tonight, but a lot of optimism as well. So we hope people will join us later, Rachel.
Absolutely. You know, we had a live analysis in our shows this evening, and they talked about exactly what you just mentioned about how the economy is really a sticking point for people, and they're unhappy with the Democratic leadership right now because of that.
Yeah, there are lots of things in play this year. You have to wonder what, if any, impact the recent Supreme Court decision might have on the electorate. Will it light a fire under them, get them to the polls? And, is Donald Trump a help or a hindrance to Republican candidates running in this state? It's all wait and see.
Absolutely. Well, Dan Levy, thanks so much for your update tonight, of course. And we'll have live coverage throughout the evening as we head into News Channel 13 live at 9 and at 11 o'clock. 2-hour long coverage. So start on My 4. That's where we're going to start our coverage at 9 o'clock. And then 11 o'clock, move over to News Channel 13. That is where we'll continue our 11 o'clock newscast featuring all of this election coverage. But of course, no update would be complete without a look at your weather. So here's Paul Caiano with what you can expect.
Well, it looks like we'll have another clear night tonight. Comfortable temperatures again, good sleeping weather, lows in the 50s with generally clear skies and lots of sunshine to open up the day on Wednesday. Some energy pivoting off to our north and west during the afternoon Wednesday may touch off a few scattered clouds and perhaps a couple of passing showers or a thunderstorm. The humidity levels in the air probably not high enough to produce this much rain, but we'll watch it as it unfolds tomorrow afternoon. I think most of us will wind up staying dry. Into the day on Thursday, we'll start a warming trend, which will carry us into the latter portion of the week. 55 overnight with mostly clear skies, back into the lower 80s on Wednesday. Again, the humidity stays down, so it's going to be comfortably warm with that southwest wind at about 7 to 14. Temperatures start to climb Thursday, 84, 91 on Friday. Humidity starts to climb even more, and that will lead to some showers and thunderstorms overnight. Even a few on Saturday with that next front pushing through, but that'll leave us dry and clear for Sunday and the holiday on Monday. The latter stages of the holiday weekend both looking nice with temperatures in the lower to middle 80s.
All right, Paul, thank you. And finally, we have part 2 of our coverage, our News Vault 13. Yesterday, we showed you part 1, a look back 44 years ago. Some of you might remember the Grotto fire in Cohoes, where 7 children and their father were killed when their home started on fire. The only surviving person of that fire was Virginia Grotto, the mother. And there were a lot of questions surrounding whether or not she started that fire. She has always proclaimed her innocence, but there were a lot of questions about whether or not her innocence was actually true. And so tonight we have part 2 where we did an one-on-one conversation with her in her new home in Washington State months after the fire. She had a new husband by then. She was pregnant with a child by her dead husband. And you'll hear some of the tough questions asked of her tonight, 44 years ago, about why she thought that she was innocent. And she talked about what happened that night. That is still a cold case. That case has never been solved. So watch for yourself and see what you think. You can find that right now on our YouTube page, both parts 1 and 2. So, of course, tonight, don't forget, we have our primary coverage starting at 9 o'clock on My 4. At 11 o'clock, we're going to switch over to News Channel 13 live at 11 o'clock. Still, a lot of election coverage. The results are going to start to come in around 9 o'clock. That's when polls close. So as those come in, of course, we'll be bringing you live coverage both on air and online. We'll see you tonight.